reading a book when he met up with me, and very nonchalantly took me through a two-liner of a film. And when we heard the film and we saw what he had in mind, we never knew that the journey would come up to this. So we are exhilarated by this particular journey, and to share the Jazba of the man himself, I call upon the captain of the ship, the director, story writer, screenplay, blah blah blah, Mr. Sanjay Gupta. We're going to call that quirky pairing on the stage, the two people who have made this Jazba what this Jazba has become. One person who's going to be entering right now, I don't want to really introduce her. It's not my right to introduce her. But let me just say that she's taken India internationally. She's one of the chief contributors to being one of the best brand ambassadors for this particular country, and the chief protagonist of Jazba, Mrs. Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. And along with her, I would like to call one of the most stalwart actors that we have in Indian cinema today, and the biggest international star, Sir Irrfan Khan. Starcast is here, the entire team is here. We are very, very eager to get your responses and all the questions to the two immensely cool and thrilling pair. We are now open. Please.
I wanted to ask you, what made you say, yes, this is the film that I want to do?
It was an instant yes and an easy yes, and the what will be answered when you watch the movie. Very, very obviously. I'm sure you all can already get the feel of it with the trailer. The subject itself is fabulous because it's a wonderful thriller of a story. It speaks about a lot of things on a lot of different levels. Very, very relevant, very, very important, very, very meaningful, and it's the absolute language of one's heart. So it was an easy yes, and that coupled with the maker itself and the incredible team, beginning here with, of course, Irrfan, as you see, but an incredible team that we have brought on board. So it was our, it was an immediate wish list. I think when Sanjay and me were sitting together and going through the script, this is the cast that we saw. And when that actually comes true, being thankful is an understatement for for the entire team. So as an actor and as an artist, I was just so grateful that all the actors consented and came on board, because that's just the way we saw it. And yeah, it's been a superlative experience. I think I've answered all the million questions possible today, but yeah.
A big congratulations to the whole team of Jazba. A big congratulations to you. The trailer is very fantastic. My question to you is, Aishwarya ma'am, during your absence, there was a time when a revolution came where many women-centric movies were not only critically successful, but they were very commercial successful also. So what do you want to say about it? And do you think that Jazba also will be the part of that revolution?
Wow. Suddenly he reminds me of an absence. So because very honestly, I haven't felt it. I haven't felt being absent, though obviously, I mean, going by time and the number of releases that we do have, of course, I wasn't making movies. But a lot of the ladies here will nod, and who've completely experienced what I am wonderfully experiencing right now. We have no concept of time, and we don't realize how time flies by. So being a working mother, I really did not delve into this absence factor, and probably that's why I have not necessarily focused on the comeback term. There's no going away from it, there's no running away from it, and it will forever be the comeback film. So I'm not denying it. But when I turn around and say that I haven't felt it, that's just the way it is. And when you're talking about subjects and movies getting their due, it's always the audience's verdict. And it would be wonderful if the world wouldn't view it as we artists do. That is, we don't really, I think, and I'm daring to speak even on your behalf, Irrfan, I mean, you please contribute. But I don't think we get into a movie compartmentalizing it as any kind of centric. You know, I mean, really, the dash centric. Because here we are just coming on board, having a story unfold and being told to the viewer. And I honestly believe even viewers don't necessarily label it, but I think once that impression is kind of set, then that's the way it gets articulated. So we are here making movies, and we are always in the hope that every movie that we make appeals to the audience, the viewer, because that's who it's being made for. And that's pretty much as innocent as our entire approach is, I think, when we make movies. But if subjects of variety today are being obviously appreciated, enjoyed by the audience, and accessible to a wider, more receptive audience, and that makes it a very exciting time for us in the movies, as in all of us here, be it the producers, the directors, the writers, the actors. I think it's an exciting time in cinema, and that we as the creative people are very grateful for, because it just makes our time more, we get to enjoy a variety as well.
Sanjay Gupta,
Sanjay Gupta, when Sanjay Gupta is directing a film, is Sanjay Gupta centric film.
Absolutely.
Sanjay
saw
sir,
that.
Sanjay sir, this movie is it a remake of a South Korean movie 7 Days? Because the storyline is quite similar with that.
It is a remake. I'm not at a liberty to tell you what film it is, but it is a remake of a Korean film.
So have you directly lifted the movie, and especially in the basis of the violence?
It has been adapted.
I can tell you one thing, I have not seen any movie when I have come on board to do this movie. We have received a script and we have done a Sanjay Gupta film. As clear as that.
मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि एक लॉयर का किरदार निभाना कितना चैलेंजिंग था और क्या-क्या प्रिपरेशंस की आपने इस रोल को निभाने के लिए?
जी, आपने सही पहचाना कि मैं पहली बार एक लॉयर का किरदार निभा रही हूँ, तो obviously it did entail a certain degree of educating oneself about really what the life of a lawyer is like, what me and Sanjay shared about what the real scene is like, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग की जो impressions हैं, and wonderfully so, I think that's why we always say cinema is a part of our culture, क्योंकि we virtually grow up believing that's the way life is. So we do have a certain impression of what a courtroom scenario is from cinema that we have enjoyed watching for years, and that is somewhere, if none of us have had absolute first-hand experiences legally, which God bless all of us here, hopefully not too many, then that remains our impression. But Sanjay obviously gave a deeper insight into what the real scenario is, and we wanted to keep it as real as we could, and that's the way we have played it out. With the conviction of a lawyer, with not necessarily the dramatics that you would. We let the moment have its drama rather than the way you're playing out the moment. I think that was a very important brief that Sanjay shared with us, and that's what we try to stay truest to.
She called him an international star. She's no less an international star. Now with two international stars, how did you blend the international appeal with the Indian appeal, and do you think this is the film that will make the the much anticipated breakthrough in world cinema?
Make any claims that we're making a film to cross the borders and this and that, but there is an intention in place. There are cuts of the film being readied. It's being dubbed and released widely all across the UAE. It's being dubbed in Arabic. We're also dubbing it in other South American languages and English. So there are international cuts with a slightly shorter length that will be going out, apart from the obvious diaspora release.
Irfan sir,
Sorry, I'd like to add to that. Sir, हम national हैं, बहुत ही national हैं. It's just that जब भी कई बार मुझे introduce किया जाता है, तो या तो Miss World को reference होती है, या वो international beauty title का reference होता है, या international presence का reference होता है. तो इसलिए मैंने कहा कि भाई I'm very thankful for the opportunities destiny has given me. But honestly and very truly, as you all see, I'm not the only fortunate one, and that is why I made that reference there. But when we did this film, we were happy as actors to come on board, and it isn't about all the adages that go with it.
For you to play a cop role from that of Good Day with all the punchlines.
Yeah, I didn't think of cop at all. I was thinking of punchlines, and it's a Sanjay Gupta film, and I had great time, saying those punchlines. My attraction was at punchlines. I wanted to deal with punchlines, and I love them sometimes. And in this film, there are a few, and you will remember them when you come out to the theater. It'll make your life colorful. My punchlines. My favorite is there. I don't know whether I should reveal them now or no. Okay. There's a point where one of my guy asks, Aishwarya comes and meets me, and she goes away, and he asks, तुमने जाने दिया? He says, मोहब्बत थी इसलिए जाने दिया, जिद होती तो बाहों में होती.
ऐश्वर्या, इस साइड में. हाँ, दोबारा वापसी पर आपके सामने संजय गुप्ता जैसे डायरेक्टर और इधर इरफान जैसे एक्टर, तो किस तरह की स्पेशल तैयारियां करनी पड़ी आपको, या सीधे मैदान में उतर गए?
आप इनसे पूछिए.
नहीं, आप ही बताइए ना.
जहाँ तक काम का सवाल है तो सीधे मैदान पे ही उतर आए, लेकिन जो नॉर्मल जो हमारी प्रेपरेशन होती है, मीटिंग्स होती है, ऑब्वियसली ये नहीं कि कल बोले और आज जाग गए और सेट पे गए. तो जो नॉर्मल हमारी प्रोफेशनल जो प्रेपरेशंस होती है वो तो रही ही, लेकिन सच पूछे तो इसलिए हम यही कहते हैं कि आई थिंक कई सालों से हम ये सुने हैं हमारे सीनियर्स को कहते हुए कि वंस एन आर्टिस्ट ऑलवेज एन आर्टिस्ट, एंड दैट डेफिनेटली रिंग्स ट्रू, एंड आई एम विटनेस टू इट विद माई ओन पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस. क्योंकि कोई समय का गैप हो या ना हो, उसका हम उसे नहीं पहचानते, और जो कला है एक कलाकार को उसे निभाने में ही जो संतुष्टि मिलती है, जो खुशी मिलती है, वो तो एक बहुत ही गहरी बात है, और उसे लफ्ज़ में उतारना बहुत मुश्किल है, लफ्ज़ों में उतारना. सो आई थिंक दैट्स द सिंपलेस्ट ऑनेस्ट वे आई कुड से इट.
बच्चन साहब मेरी ज़िंदगी आसपास बहुत घूम रहे हैं. मैंने बहुत उनकी फिल्में देखी थी, उनकी फिल्में देख के मैं बड़ा हुआ. अब ऐसा दौर आया कि वो आसपास बहुत हैं. मैं कुछ एप्लीकेशन डाली है मैंने कि वो मुझे अडैप्ट कर लें. अभी तक अप्रूव हुई नहीं है, होगी तो बताऊंगा मैं आपको.
You have constantly proved everyone wrong, and you constantly do versatile roles and things. Now recently you also did a party song. So do you do that consciously, and do you constantly try to reinvent yourself and do and go beyond your limits?
I think what you're saying is right. Actually, I proved myself also wrong, and nobody thought I could become an actor. I also never thought I could become an actor, but there was a kind of drive which propelled me to do this. And I think there's an instinct in me which hates formality, which tries to see things in right definitions. Whatever. I think I'm here to redefine things. I hate conventional things. So it's an instinct. It's not very thought out thing. It's something which comes from inside me. If there is a formal atmosphere, there will be an instinct within me which will try to disrupt it. So it's a God-given curse, or blessing. I don't know.
He had to change that too. He didn't want to say God-given blessing, God-given shayad curse. Let's just say that differently. Saying the same thing, but let's say it differently.
Aishwarya.
God, I guess I'll be now sounding similar to him, that I probably don't fall into the conventional responses and reactions that people are seeking, and then they focus on the giggle, like I now realize I just did a second ago. But see, the point is, I have always enjoyed the process of the making of the film. That's what's most precious to me, because that's what I live with. That's my life. That's my everyday. And I have said this for years. It's we are in an industry, and we recognize that. And of course, when you hear that a film has made the money invested, firstly, and then of course the profits, it's gratifying for the business of the cinema. When the film has appealed to your audience, it's extremely creatively satisfying. And that's what we as a team would always look for and seek. But when the reference is made to butterflies and nervousness, I get very gobsmacked about what kind of an answer to give, because I don't know whether saying, of course I get nervous, will humanize me, or saying that, no, I mean, you know, we have made the baby, and the baby's out there to live its life, you know. It's like let the birds fly. And it will live its life, it will find its journey, and hopefully the flight is a wonderful one. And that's what the team aspires. But beyond that, it's not about, it's never been about butterflies. So that's consistent from my last film to this.
After comical Piku, there is a intensive Talwar and now Jazba. So how do you opt for your script?
I just go by the instinct, you know. If the story pulls you, if the Jazba has been made by some other director, I would have definitely considered something else. But I know that what the director is capable of doing. So you rely on director, you rely on your the way there's a bell which rings when you hear a script, or when you hear your role, and that makes you decide, and you also look at the producer, whether he's going to put it, present it properly or not. All these considerations are there. But first and foremost is there should be a ting in your heart when you listen to the script.
10 years, I think, since Z entered the world of Hindi cinema with the production, if I'm not wrong. The last film was Bhagmati. So what made you opt for this subject and as participant producers?
See, Z has entered cinema many times, and with some success, some not so successful films. I personally made Gadar for Z, which Z backed some 10 years ago. Bhagmati was one of the animations. So we, as filmmakers, as a company, we keep on experimenting. And there were a lot of other films too which were made. But now, when we saw the total environment of the business of cinema, and we saw the kind of things that are happening around, we decided to come in once again. And we were searching for something really as a first step. And when Sanjay narrated this story, and we just got hooked on, and we thought this is exactly what we want to start with. And we are here to stay. We are looking at doing a lot more films, all types of films. Some will succeed and some won't, but that's fine. I think that's business.
इरफान सर, कैसा रहा सेट्स पे ऐश्वर्या जी के साथ काम करने का, और आपका कैसा रहा अनुभव? दोनों लोग एक दूसरे का अनुभव बताएं, और कोई ऐसा खास एक्सपीरियंस जो सेट पे हुआ?
मेरा एक रीज़न इस फिल्म को करने का ऐश्वर्या जी भी हैं, बहुत बड़ा रीज़न, और मैं आई वाज लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड, एंड मेरे लिए उनको जानना, उनको देखना करीब से, एंड उनका काम करने का एक जो तरीका है, और फिर इससे ज़्यादा एक्सिलरेटिंग कुछ नहीं होता कि एक माँ अपने बच्चे का ध्यान रख रही है और साथ में शूट कर रही है. इट्स अ ब्यूटिफुल एक्सपीरियंस फॉर मी. And yesterday we just finished, we completed the film, and it was a beautiful day, and it was a great experience. It's a kind of memory I will cherish, and I loved the experience.
आप भी कुछ बताएं, कैसा रहा?
I have been saying it right from the word go. He asked me another question, I answered something else, because like I said, this was the dream cast for me, and I mean, when I read the script, it was him. And I'm so glad he came on board, because it could have only been him. And it just made working every day so natural. One, it doesn't feel like work. You can see why. Like he said, the blessing Urf curse is wonderful. He just makes it, it's very relaxed, and yet you're there to do focus work as colleagues, We have him helming it. And again, even him, I mean, when you're working even with Sanjay, I mean, here, I kept saying that before, that here, when you say Sanjay Gupta, it's, I'll use that term again, testosterone infused. I mean, there's a Sanjay Gupta movie. And, it was wonderful that he brought and evoked that energy out of us every day in such emotional and even intense moments, which just makes working together effortless. And he definitely brings that. I mean, Irrfan really, really brings that out as a colleague. And like I said, you're a bad habit. In the way he says it, as it obviously a good habit. But he's a bad habit. And looking forward to, hopefully, directors willing, writers willing, many more experiences of working together. Truly.
Hi, how are you?
All good, thank you.
अच्छा, ऐश्वर्या जी हमें बताइए कि आपका ये एडवोकेट का रोल बॉलीवुड इंडस्ट्री में दूसरे एडवोकेट के रोल से कितना डिफरेंट है?
ये आपको हमें बताना होगा फिल्म देखने के बाद.
एंड टू इरफान सर, लाइक ऐश्वर्या जी का ये कमबैक है, तो आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि आप पूरे साइडलाइन हो जाएंगे इस फिल्म में?
मुझे एक तो उन्हें कमबैक नहीं लगता, मुझे तो मुझे कभी लगा ही नहीं कि वो कभी गई हैं कहीं. एंड साइडलाइन होना कुछ अच्छी बात, बुरी बात नहीं है, अच्छा लगेगा वो. किससे साइडलाइन होना है, ऐश्वर्या का किससे साइडलाइन होना है तो अच्छी बात है, खूबसूरत बात है.
You obviously are a very private person and you don't give too many interviews. We've seen over the years that, you've kept yourself and you have you have the Khan thing that happens and we have few things. But, a lot of actors make sure that they are in the limelight, even if a movie is not there. They are doing events, seen a lot of things. That doesn't happen. Are you going to miss not doing that and keeping to yourself? We spoke to Abhishek and he told that you sometimes come on Twitter, but are you still going to keep yourself away from the social media and, all that?
The social media question is to be answered that I'm not on it. I haven't been on it so far. And when I go, sometimes it's on his account and it'll be about sharing wishes and thanking, obviously, the millions of well-wishers for all their love and good wishes, which honestly I'm very, very grateful for. People have been so generous throughout. Another reason why I've just not felt the gap or the factor that I may not have been making movies. And I'm very, very grateful for the love. And I'll go on all your handles to say precisely that and share that with everybody because I truly mean it. And I have all of you to convey that as well. So at every given opportunity of a media interaction, I pretty much, obviously and genuinely will convey to all your readers, viewers, and our well-wishers for all their love and blessings and good wishes and kudos and critiquing and the good and bad and the ugly, all that goes with the turf. When it comes to making sure that you're seen and being seen, again, I think it's not about, I've never been about any kind of, there's no plan to it. There isn't any strategizing. I think I believe I pretty much am very present because, I do have a life. I mean, life is in the way and I live it as well. And I've always said that, whether it meant making movies before marriage, during marriage, literally, after marriage, during my pregnancy, also more than half of it, I was definitely present interacting with you all on various platforms, and after motherhood as well, from the 3rd month, 3.5 months, and I was doing endorsements and appearances on that front. The reason I wasn't making movies is because I'm the kind of person who commits. I definitely respect the integrity of commitment, and I'm a very committed mother, and I'm a very committed professional, and I will not give less of myself to either aspect of my life. So when I felt it was time that I could now venture out to figure out the balance, I didn't know it. I was figuring out, I still am, I'll continue to, because life changes, and in a mother's life, I think every day is a first. Whether it's a 1-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, you've never been a mother of a 1-year-old, 3-year-old, or a 5-year-old before. So every day, and thereon, every day is a new day, and you keep discovering what's in store in your everyday. But when I felt I was ready to be able to balance the prioritizing, that's when we went ahead. I mean, Gupta and me were kind of talking for more than what, 8 months before that. He sent me the idea and he kept saying, let's meet. But his energy, and you know you're raring to go. Now, as a professional, like I said, once an artist, always an artist. We'll sit together. We're sitting right here and you're like raring to go completely. But life is in the way, you know. So when we were ready, there we were on the accelerator, kicking on all guns blast, as we'd say in his lingo, and ready to, you know, roll. And I'm glad we did when we did, because it all just seems right. It all fell in place.
Sure. Irfan, you know, when we see the trailer, we also noticed an observation is that there's a lot of hero bazi, the term, if you can say it. Like, you play beautiful characters, and, you know, then there's, like, you know, when a Shah Rukh and a Salman, you have this certain hero stardom to it when they do it with a certain thing. This movie kind of puts you in that zone, which you usually are not, you know, you obviously are a fantastic actor. Have you enjoyed doing that? Have you enjoyed playing the hero kind of way?
I don't think it put me in that zone. My zone is my zone, and I won't. I'll keep expanding my zone. You know, that's what the fun is. You cannot put yourself into somebody else's zone. Everybody creates their own zone, and I loved it. You know, it's because it's a solid character, and there is a solid undercurrent. You know, the kind of chemistry, the kind of relationship my character and Aishwarya's character is having is unseen. You know, you haven't seen this kind of you know. Chemistry, and I loved those one-liners. You know, the first day of the shoot, I asked Sanjay. He was directing me, and that Amitabh Bachchan wala scene. I said, one-liners kahan hai? उसने कहा मैं रख रखी हैं बहुत सारी तुम्हारे लिए. And then he started narrating me one after the other, and I loved it. And that was my, you know, something I was propelled by. I said, मुझे दो one-liner. I want to say them. So you enjoy
He can say them the way he does. When you see the film, you know that. I'm telling you, it's an art. It's an art.
हमने सुना है कुछ सिंगिंग डेब्यू भी किया है आपने इस फिल्म से. Is it true? कुछ गाना भी गाया है आपने इस फिल्म में.
मैं बताता हूँ, अभी तक नहीं. But intention है.
तो ऐश्वर्या, कुछ इरादा हमें इस फिल्म में या इन फ्यूचर हमें कुछ गाने आपके जुबान से सुनने को मिलेंगे? बिकॉज पिछले कुछ एक सालों
फिलहाल जज्बा के बारे में बात करते हैं. फ्यूचर के प्लान्स फ्यूचर में ही बात कर लेते हैं.
बिकॉज पिछले कुछ एक सालों में कई सारे एक्टर ने गाना भी गाया है, लाइक आलिया भट्ट, प्रियंका चोपड़ा, श्रद्धा कपूर, सलमान खान.
काफी सालों से एक्टर्स हैव sung. It's just probably maybe it's not a new thing. Actors have been singing for, I mean, Pa has been singing forever, so it's not a हाल ही में लोग actors are singing. It's probably getting obviously a lot more. We're trying to probably do what's natural to everybody anyways, and like I said, we all sing. आप भी गाते हैं, आप भी गाते हैं, आप भी गाते हैं, because we've all loved our cinema music. I think there's a singer in every one of us. It's about choosing to go on and explore. It's just about the choice to be made as and when you choose to do it. So there is no time frame to that as to कि अब ये हो रहा है और पहले नहीं हो रहा था. ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है, पहले भी हो रहा था.
मेरे लिए तो इनके सामने खड़ा होना मुश्किल था, तो वो मुश्किल थोड़ा धीरे ईज आउट हो गई. बिकॉज इन्होंने ईज कर दिया उसको. दैट वाज द टफेस्ट थिंग.
ऐश्वर्या, ऑन योर लेफ्ट. ऐश्वर्या, ऐश्वर्या, हमारी इंडस्ट्री में हमेशा ऐसी बातें हैं कि जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. तो काफी पिछले कुछ एक सालों में
आप सब हंस रहे थे ना पहले ही कि अभी पता है ऐसा कोई सवाल आने वाला है.
पिछले कुछ एक सालों में एज एन एक्टर क्या फील करती हैं कि ऐश्वर्या राय की पॉपुलैरिटी में कुछ एक कमी आई है, या उनकी पॉपुलैरिटी वैसे भी है जैसे पिछले कुछ एक 5 सालों में थी?
मैं ना कोई ट्रैकिंग कंपनी हूँ, ना मैं कोई एनालिसिस ब्यूरो हूँ.
There are other people also to talk to.
I am an actor. I'm an actor and I'm here to do my job. ये सब आप कीजिए.
My question to you is regarding your role. How difficult was it for you to portray a traumatized mother who is about to lose her daughter and then switching off to a convincing lawyer?
That's what she does for a living.
It's kind of the job of an actor, no? I mean, this is something that we're meant to do. And we're in the able hands of the director every day on set. And with very committed, responsible colleagues. And this is what we do every day. I mean, how difficult or how convincing. Every day at work is challenging. I mean, so I don't think the word is difficult, the word is challenging, and that's what we as artists look forward to. I think if it was just a blind walk in the park, then what do you wake up and go to? What would excite you? So you're looking forward for that challenge that excites you, that, like he was saying about feeling that bell inside, it has to ring close. You know, it has to excite you. It has to evoke something to want for you to be there, and taking time out from your reality. You know, we're not leading our personal lives and coming every day to work. This is not a conventional 9-to-5 job. The job of us as artists is, in fact, very rarely defined by time. We know what time we arrive at shoot. We'll never know what time we're necessarily going back, because we're about there getting the moment captured. And even if life is in the way, very often we're like, okay, so when do you think we'll wrap? And very often we're about adjusting our life around that. And the only reason we do that is because we love what we do. Why else would we do that on a daily basis? So as long as we are feeling that feeling, we are there making that movie and doing that part. In terms of whether you're playing a mother, you're playing a lawyer, you're playing whatever different roles you have out there, that's what we need to bring to the table. And like he said, that's what we're there doing, that job. It's our job to do that. It's our professional commitment to do just that.
So on a music perspective, can you throw some light on what the audience can expect from Jazba this time?
Personally, for me, the music making part is the most exciting part about my movies. I love that whole process, and there's no way I could even think of a film without music in it. But having said that, this is not your conventional formula film, and these characters cannot suddenly break into a jig, and they cannot start singing songs. So we are not doing that. Yeah, there's no party song in the film. So we don't have that. But yes, we do have an OST, and there will be songs which we're working on, which would be there in the OST to promote the film.
I love and respect that. We're not, again, while he obviously stated it, I think we all sit here and have that factor and commonality that we don't necessarily need to play into obvious conventional perception of the adages that necessarily go with the perception of what to expect.
Hi, I have a question for the cast and the director. Of course, it's slightly away from Jazba, but hear me out. If you feel like responding to it, you can. Basically, recently there was this infidelity website which was hacked, and the clients of which were majorly Indians. I would just want a reaction from each of you.
I think this
Why
question.
Would you want to react to that?
The photographers, I think you all can.
Media,
If we request everyone to please stand up. We'd request the photographers to please come up and take.
क्या वो infidelity क्या?
I don't know क्या था. I don't even know. I think I got my